Hello, I'm Czardus. Grab some coffee, sit back, and chill as we build in Cities Skylines 2. Now, actually, we are not technically building in Cities Skylines 2. Today, we are looking at the different maps in the Bridges and Ports DLC. And first up, we have Driftwood Reach. Now, this one is a peninsula, as you can see. It will feel a little bit like that, but most of your starting area is inside, or most of your buildable area is inside here, so you're not really going to feel it too much. Now, coming in, you have a highway coming around this way, and then another one here. That is designed so that if you want, you can, I believe you've got space, you could buy tiles out here. Yep, you could get a interchange out here and get some nice fun drawbridges across this waterway, because if you look at your ship path, let's see, if we bring this up, ship path does not come in here yet, actually. So it is way out here. You have to buy the tiles or get it to come in here, and then you can build a nice pier on the inside here. You could build a little channel here if you really wanted to. You could redo all of that and have your path come in this way. But then, of course, you'd have to get a path along here. So either way, you're going to have to build a long path to get there. You've got rail that comes along this way. And here, your start square, you have power coming in. You've got your road access there. And then you have space to build in there. And then looking at the natural resources, you have a big chunk of offshore oil here. There's more out in the actual ocean area, and then you also have ore right there, and over there you've got fertile land and some inland oil as well. Terrain wise, this map, let's see, where is terrain? Nope. Right, I don't think we have it there. Now that I'm thinking of it, we've got it here. Terrain wise, it's very flat. We've got a little hill there, and then another little one over there, but for the most part, it's extremely flat in your buildable area. This one is ripe for a gigantic city. And yeah, that's all I have for this one. Let's move on to the next one. Now, up next is Lakeside Harbor, and this one is great for bridges, if you really ask me. You've got this area in here, which is just built for having bridges across there, and then your water transit comes in over to here, and then you've got another one over there. So you probably don't need drawbridges very much, but if you put like fishing and stuff back here, you could get some beautiful drawbridges across there. Now, there isn't too much in there, but you could also get bridges over there. For a port, you can get a nice big port along here or over on this side. You saw we've got ship channels coming in on either side there. Road-wise, you've got a highway coming over this way and kind of through the center of where the town probably will go. And then you've got a smaller highway coming along here and making its way into the center of town and your start square. Start square, you've got power coming in, you've got a little bit of water, you've got trees there. And let's look at other resources. You've got a lot of fertile land over this way and there. Lots of fishing could happen here. And you've got ore as well. You've got oil over here, but not any offshore oil. So if you want to do offshore oil, this is not really the map. You could get a little bit way out there, but that would be much farther away and it would take a little bit of planning and stuff for that. Terrain-wise, we do have some mountains to deal with, and like I said, over here you could get bridges, but they kind of would go to nowhere because there's not a ton of buildable space over here. And then this side, the mountains kind of just frame your buildable area. It is totally flat in the middle here, and then you've got a little bit of a slope here going up, I believe. It's sometimes hard to tell, but yeah, it has a little slope going up there leading into the other stuff, and then you've got a couple islands there to work with as well. All right, let's move on to the next one. Okay, this one is called Ribbon Isles, and you can see you've got lots of islands. It reminds me a bit of maybe the Pacific Northwest a little bit, but it also is extremely flat, so it's not like the Pacific Northwest in that regard. You do have the highway coming along here and then a rail, and both of them make their way over here and utilize a beautiful double-decker bridge, one of the new ones from the pack, and then they come over here and split again, and you've got the road going this way and over another nice little bridge, and then you have the rail one going over a beautiful rail bridge there. And then the road comes over here into the start square, where you have a little bit of trees around, and again, an extremely flat area. Let's take a look at ship paths, because this is the Bridges and Ports pack, so we really want to build ports and stuff like that. We've got space over here. You could get a port right by your ship path, or you could build your own path coming in here and have a really big port in a more natural harbor, although this one is kind of a natural harbor too. You can see out here is the like bigger waves of the ocean coming in and doing stuff. Now, terrain or natural resources, you've got ore here. You have a lot of offshore oil there, and a fish, of course, and then you've got fertile land. Got a lot of offshore oil over here too, so this one would be really good for taking advantage of the offshore oil industry. Terrain-wise, as I've said, we are extremely flat in here. You do have one little spot here. It looks like maybe there was a little bit of water there or something. In theory, it's a little bit below sea level, in fact. And then you've got a lake over here as well. But in general, it's extremely flat and good for having ports and things. And if you want bridges, this one would be another great one to connect all these different isles with bridges. Okay, now we have Sanctuary Bay, which I guess is a bay. It doesn't really feel like it when you look at the world map. Oh, I guess this is a bay coming in here. Yeah, technically it is a bay. So it has lots of little islands on here that you can cross over onto and stuff like that. And the start square comes in here. You've got space on this little peninsula to build, and of course power coming in. You've got rail very close to that too, which is nice. Highways, you've got a highway coming along here. This is a bigger one, and then you have a small highway coming in intersecting there before it comes over here. You do have a nice bridge over here with the highways. It's another double decker with the rail coming in. Then looking at shipping, that comes in here. You can get a really nice port in there. In fact, that's probably where you would want to do it. You might get another one over here because you've got more rail and another highway over here coming in. But that, I believe, is a smaller highway. Yeah, it's a small highway and then a dirt road. But really, you've got a lot to work with there. Natural resources, you have a lot of fertile land on this map. Tons of space for farms all over the place. A little bit of offshore oil out on the edges of the map, not really inside here. You've got, oh, I guess you've got a little bit there. That would work. And then you've got ore kind of on the hills, and not really all that much inland oil either. Terrain-wise, it's another very flat map. The challenge with the terrain here is the water and the bridges that you'll have to do if you want to build outside of just this side of it. So there's a little bit of challenge there with terrain, but more of it is fun just working with the water. And last up from this DLC, we have Verdant Veil. So we've got mountains on both sides here coming into this river valley with a bit of a nice delta there. And then you can see it kind of curves its way, although it just really stops there. Kind of goes on over that way, but not really. So it's kind of a river valley, but not quite, I guess. But you do have some nice bridges in here. You've got a nice tall one for the highway, and then a nice rail one coming in over here as well. Coming up to your start square, you've got the highway coming by, and then a nice interchange coming in right there. You've got power, and you've got some wood that you can work with, timber right away. You've got rail not too far away, and of course the water as well. Shipping, got a shipping path out here. You would have to figure out where to put a port on this one. You could maybe build one over here, or come all the way to the coast. It also might be fun to do some terraforming to build a channel in here and then have a port right on the riverside here. Natural resources, you have a bit of ore in the middle. You've got a little bit of fertile land, lots of it over here on the other side of the river. And then you have a little bit of inland oil and a little bit of offshore oil as well. So there is stuff you can work with there. And terrain-wise, it is another very flat map with, well, maybe a little bit of rolling hills in there. Not too much terrain changes. It does slope in these start squares, so you might need to account for that a tiny bit, but not too bad. So there you have it. There are 5 maps in the pack. I hope you enjoyed this video with this preview. There is a video on the screen now that you should click on if you want to see more maps in Cities Skylines 2, if I've done any more map videos. If not, it'll be a great video that you will thoroughly enjoy and find useful. I guarantee it. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. Take care.